I keep forgetting how quick that is in the live streams. Hello everybody, welcome to another Streamstructor as live. I'm not recording this live, you won't be able to respond to me in chat today, and there's a very good reason for that. July is the busiest month I've had in 15 months, something like that. Last time I had an as live, it was because I had an impromptu trip up to Kirua with Andy. And the vlog came out last year for that, and that was on the Sunday. So I had to do a pre-recorded live stream the day before, which is what I'm doing here. It's my time, it's just after 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, the 15th of July 2023. I almost had to think about the date there, because tomorrow, the time this comes out, is the 16th of July 2023, and it'll be about, well, 10 a.m. British time, BST, 9 a.m. GMT. There you go, Fraser. That's your clarification for the day. And tomorrow it will be out 5 p.m. BST, 4 p.m. GMT. So that's the situation. But how's everybody doing? How has the past 6 weeks been for you? Mine have been very, very busy and still are busy, which is part of the reason why I am doing what I'm doing today. This is why we're doing an As Live, because tomorrow is a long-awaited tribute screening of a favourite film of my friend Rintu, who, as you know, passed away 18 months ago. And his favourite film was The Blues Brothers, and this is the film that will be screening tomorrow afternoon. In my time, screen after tomorrow afternoon. It'll be gone by the time you guys get this. This timey-wimey thing really confuses me at times, and I've got another channel update coming in a week or so's time, so it's going to be even more confusing. But yes, so we've got the tribute for Rintu, and then straight to the Doctor Who Society meeting in the evening. So I do not have the time to do a live stream in between all that. So I'm doing it all today, and I'm doing it fairly early because I've got other things this afternoon. I've just had busy months. This is the only weekend I could do any sort of Streamstructor type thing in a weekend setting, because 2 weeks before I've been doing lots of reenactments. First of all, it was on Lithgow Palace, and I'll go into that in a minute. Last week I had 2 locations I went to as a solo gig. Next week I'm at Edinburgh Castle, and then I'm at Kilevrock Castle the week after that. So very busy period, but I'll get into that in a minute. We'll go into that soon. But let's just very quickly have a look and see what's happening today with the lineup. So here is your running order for today. So we have 2 videos today, 2 archive videos. We've got Urquhart Castle, which is vlog 42, and we have Deanstructor Reviews Doctor Who, Turn Left, and that is your running order for today's As Live. This As Live will be recorded as live, so any hamster mistakes, any issues I say, any fluffs, any mistakes or problems that happen, just like the live stream, will happen here. This is just being recorded and being uploaded straight to YouTube, and it will be a premiere, so you can still comment, but you'll be able to comment on that side. If you're watching on the web, and down below, or in that little icon that's up there, I think it's up there in the situation for a mobile app or tablet or something like that, you'll be able to comment along in Premiere. You might not get me in the Premiere chatting along, but if you want to have conversation between yourselves, by all means. And if any comments I think are really good, I'll try and discuss them and make responses to them in the next Streamstructor, which will be live on the 20th of July. 20th of July? 20th of August. There we go. First mistake, number 1. 20th of August 2023. So that is a month from now. Before we go into the details of what's been happening with my life and why it is so busy and why the live stream is here, or pre-recorded live stream is here, I'm going to go and just do the usual platitudes and the usual tribute to the people of Ukraine through the conflict that's happening there, has been happening since February last year. We almost thought it was over. It was about 3 weeks ago. I was out with Fraser, Jamie, Siobhan and Jim, and we were looking at the news going on with Prigozhin and his coup and taking over Rostov in the south of Russia, and we thought, this is the end, the war's going to end. And then just as quickly as it started, it ended, and then nothing else happened. It was really weird, really strange. But the conflict's still going on. They are making gains in the counter-offensive, the Ukrainians, but it's very small, very slight. There's been a lot of talk about NATO this week as well. Ukraine's wanting to try and get some sort of timetable for joining NATO, but you can't get a timetable for joining NATO when you're at war, and and NATO doesn't want to get involved if they can, because they know how catastrophic it could be. They're a defensive organisation, not an offensive, so it's a very difficult thing to balance. But it looks like they've got enough platitudes to keep Ukraine happy for now. But I can understand why Zelensky wants to have this sort of security, because he's had so much from the West, and the West is still helping him. He wants to have that guarantee, and I completely get where he's coming from. However, that is the situation with Ukraine. It's still ongoing, and as I said at the very beginning when this first started doing this, I will do a minute's silence at every Streamstructor I do until the Ukraine conflict is resolved in some, what I class as a satisfactory way. Ideally fighting and stalemate and peacetime, ceasefire is probably the best option I think we can hope for here. I don't think it's going to go back to the borders it was before the war started. I think there's going to be some compromise. We'll see what happens, but that is the plan, to do a 1 minute silence every month still until Ukraine conflict is over, and that could be years down the line. Every live stream I do, that's what I'm going to do. Here is the minute silence. If you want to join with me, please do. That's absolutely fine. Thank you for joining in, and yes, here we go. 1 minute silence for Ukraine. Thank you everybody who took part in that. I almost had another parental incident there as he came in the room and put some stuff away. I hate living at home sometimes, but there we are. We've got the minute silence done. Thank you very much if you did join in with that. That was really nice for you guys to take part in that. Right. Oh, itchy ear. That's one of these things on a Saturday morning. Just wash your hair. The hair goes over the place, and it's right. Okay. There we are. That's me. Stop being such a nonce now. There we are. Right. Hopefully when you guys watch this as a premiere, I do have a few people watching it as a premiere, and hopefully my little flag waver will be there. Hello. I'm sure you'll make yourself revealed at some point in the future. No doubt Fraser and Jamie will probably pop in at some point, maybe not as the premiere happens, but they'll watch it later. And I do have a couple of other viewers I know that watch it on a regular basis as well. Hello Robert, hello Lynn, and hello everybody who does watch this live stream over the replays and everything for the live stream over the first month it's released. So yeah, it's really been good with that, and I'll go more into the stats and that about how the channel's been doing since the last channel update in January, in 2 weeks time, on the 30th of July. Oh, this day behind is really getting me. The 30th of July at 5 p.m. BST, 4 p.m. GMT. You'll get me, Fraser. You'll get me confused. Anyway, right. So, reenactments, yes. So, the reason why I'm doing a live stream as live is because of all the stuff I've got, very busy weekends over the next couple of months. So, July has been a situation where 4 of the 5 weekends in July, I am actually doing stuff reenactment related. It's always going to be the case that this month of the year is going to be busier. But it's just everything seems to have come together this month in regards to social things. And I've got 4 or 5 different spheres of social outcomes I can do. I've got some workmates I can go out with. I've got the reenactment group. I've got Doctor Who group. I have my own friends outside that group as well. So they're all merging together this month, and it's really took a lot of time up. I've been basically editing on the fly as much as I can. I've tried to get a week ahead, but it's been very difficult. I'm just at the edge of finishing off the videos for July, and I should be able to get the videos for August started next week, go figure. So yes, I am starting to get ahead again, but it's been very difficult, and work's been busy, and it's been a manic month. And I'm not moaning because I think it's bad. It's self-inflicted. I chose to do these solo gigs for History Matters Limited, and I chose to do these things for the reenactments with Historic Saltire. So I'm not complaining in that respect. It's great to be busy, but when you've got so many things you're trying to juggle, sometimes you can drop a ball, and I'm glad I haven't dropped the ball just yet. Don't quote me on that one. The channel update's going to be a logistical nightmare to record, I think, but that's more for a week's time and for the risk of losing more hair over. But at the moment, everything is running just about right. The 6 facts I have for Leonardo da Vinci hasn't quite been completed yet. All I need to do is do the graphics side, so I'm nearly there with that. So I'm in a good spot. But because of that and all the reenactment stuff I've been doing, as I say, I was at the Linlithgow Palace at the beginning of the month for spectacular jousting. The Saturday was windy and wet, and it was causing issues a little bit with everybody. It's a shame, but it's just one of these things. Sunday wasn't much better, but both days were good. I really enjoyed them. I think I was in my. I think I did better on the. I think I felt better on the Sunday than a Saturday. I'm not quite sure why, but I'm starting to get the stage now with camping where if I'm within an hour and a half of drive from where we're camping and where we are, I'm not camping both nights anymore. I'm going home and getting a comfy bed because I noticed that on the Saturday. I went home on the Saturday night because Mum, Dad, my sister, and her partner came over, and wee doggy was there as well. Mum and Dad were despairing because Kerry wouldn't go anywhere without. Kerry stopped every 5 seconds because the dog was being petted or looked at or talked to and things like that. It was really strange. And then we had, and then I went home and slept in my own bed and then came back. So on the Sunday morning, and that worked for me. I think it actually was a good thing that happened, and I'm glad I managed to do that. I won't be able to do that for Kilavrock. I won't be able to do that for Fort George. But the other solo gigs for History Matters, basically I'm a medieval man-at-arms across some sites across Scotland. I've done Dumbarton Castle. I've got 3 more gigs at St Andrews Castle because I did one last Sunday. I've got 2 gigs at Edinburgh Castle roaming as a medieval man-at-arms next week, which is going to be really frightening for me, and I've got a lot of research to do with that, which is why I'm kind of glad that the 6 Facts Leonardo da Vinci video is almost done, because I need the extras those days in the evening to do some research about the facts of Edinburgh Castle, so I've got some sort of knowledge, because I've got to keep with the tour guides, and that's a bit of pressure. It's a pressure I'm going to enjoy, but it's a bit of pressure. And then we've got, of course, Kilavrock Castle at the end of the month with the spectacular jousting. Part of the reason why the channel update's going that week, because it's always a good week to do that, because I can prepare. Unfortunately, I can't do the channel update recordings at weekends, so I have to try and either find some way of slipping in it when I'm in Edinburgh, or doing it as part of a weekend or weekday walk in the evening, do something like that. I'm not decided yet, but it's going to be one of these interesting situations with trying to record that and slip that in. But once it's done, it's done. I don't mind. But I mean, I'm really enjoying this, and as I say, Linlithgow was fun. I went to Dumbarton Castle on Saturday last week, the 8th of July, and it happened to be the day that the Glasgow Gunners, the army, were doing a tribute and a 9-gun salute to 800 years since Dumbarton Castle became a royal castle, which I thought was really quite ironic and good. That was quite good. Good views, a lot of people trying on the kit and having good discussions with me and getting all the facts, and it's really quite interesting. Some of the facts are in there you can utilise, and yes, there's one, it's the Scots Wars of Independence I'm doing, so it's that period, so talking about that sort of period and trying to pick a year and so forth to say all these facts about, and then have a seer in the future about all the stuff that's happening in the future, about some things if customer ask questions or people ask questions. It's really interesting. And then St Andrews Castle on the Sunday, we had lots of Americans come up and ask me questions. We had 150 Italian teenagers on trips coming around the castle and exploring. A few of them came up to me and we did a kind of costume fitting with some of them, but most of them it was really interesting. I did like St Andrews, and I'm glad I'm going back for 3 more days in August, and I'll talk more about the August side in a minute. And then of course next week we've got Edinburgh Castle, so it's a busy few weeks and self-inflicted. And History Matters, but in a good way. The History Matters Limited is based off most of the people that do History Matters are representing people from the Pictish times up to the Napoleonic Wars. I don't think we'll get anything further close to, I don't think we'll get anything any sooner, any more recent than that in the retinue. But they're all go around Scotland, historic Scotland sites, being interactive living history displays for a lot of the time, and I'm part of that crew and I'm really enjoying it. And yes, there is a bit of money involved. I do get paid for it. Hopefully I'm worth the money I'm getting paid, but that's my little self-confidence coming out. But yeah, it's an absolutely brilliant idea. I love the gigs, and yes, I love to do more. But yeah, you will find out in a couple of weeks why things might have to be, the juggling was fine, but I don't know if I can maintain that juggling if it becomes more ramped up next year and other things and moving home and things like that. In the channel update, you will get the first signs potentially that there's going to be some changes on this channel, never mind in my own personal life. But that's a teaser for 2 weeks' time. Anyway, let's get on with the first of the archive videos for this time. Let's play Urquhart Castle. Good morning. It's Friday the 11th of August 2017 and I am out castling again. I think that's one way you put it. This time I'm on the banks of Loch Ness and behind me, or in front of me, is this place, Urquhart Castle. Welcome to another vlog. Excuse me a minute, we seem to have a technical issue. Let's start it again, shall we? Good morning. It's Friday the 11th of August 2017 and I am out castling again. I think that's one way you put it. This time I'm on the banks of Loch Ness and behind me, or in front of me, is this place, Urquhart Castle. Welcome to another vlog. Now for me, this is the last of the 4 big hitters of historic Scotland, which are Edinburgh, Stirling castles, Urquhart Castle and Fort George. So after this, I have personally seen all 4 of the big hitters. This one is probably the one that is the most awkward to get to, travel-wise. This is the weekend where I'll be at Fort George, so you'll see that as well in a future vlog or a previous vlog. It will be a previous vlog. This is one of the bank of vlogs in that respect. But yes, no, I'm going to have a quick explanation of the castle and see what's here. And as you can see, there are a lot of tourists already. It is only just after 10 o'clock in the morning, so it just shows you how popular this is in the summer months. More ideal maybe doing this in the winter, but I'm here. I thought I might as well do it this morning. I was trying to get it yesterday, but I came too late. I was too busy at that point. So I thought I'd come this morning instead. So let's do a bit of castle exploring, shall we? One of 2 catapults that were built and reconstructed in the 90s. The other one was at Caerlaverock. It's no longer there. But you'll see Caerlaverock in a previous video. But yes, this is Caerlaverock Castle's twin catapult, as it would have been. And they did fire them from here and tested them, and the shots went about 200 miles. 200 miles? 200 metres. In the recorded history, it's not really stated that this castle was really raided or attacked in the Cromwellian era. It was left for fire in the late 1680s, 1690s, after William of Orange took over as king. And this castle has a history in itself. There's always been a fort of some sort here since the 600s. St. Columba came here and made his mark with one of the Pictish lords, and then over the next 600 years or so it changed hands and finally went into MacDonald's hands back in the late 1400s. The MacDonalds were a very powerful clan in the Highlands. The chief MacDonald was Lord of the Isles, which was a title that was inherited from one of the original kings. But regardless of that, they effectively took an iron grip and a very abusive grip on the castle over the next 100 or so, 150 years or so. But yeah, that's the castle. And then in King James IV in 1509 handed it to the Grants, who were the owners of the castle for the next 180 odd years. But that's not without the MacDonalds raiding the castle up until the 1540s, and causing still more trouble for the people of Glenurquhart. It's a little windy today, so it looks rather choppy, Loch Ness. Still beautiful though. You can hear that. Somebody singing Loch Lomond. Problem is, he's picked the wrong loch. It's Loch Ness we're at. I think this is the first vlog where I've had more people in the vlog than I have viewers. There's quite a few people here, there really is. You think about the middle of the summer. Not far away from the star attraction, the tower block. Let's be honest, it's so cramped up here, there might be a quicker way of getting down. Top of the tower. As if, of course, you can hear any of this. may have a bit of work subtitling to do. But there's Loch Ness towards Inverness. And over there, it's Loch Ness towards Glencoe. Great Glen.
You want me to go first?
I've never been in such a sardine tin in my life. There's too many people going up those steps. I really am slightly regretting coming now. Especially it was a bit windy today as well, which doesn't help. But they are open all year, so maybe a winter visit next time might make me appreciate it a bit more. But this is a slightly different vlog. I'm just trying to film as I go because there's not enough time to set the camera up, so I'm just putting the record button on and just pointing and shooting at things I find interesting. I'll cut it together later. A little bit more to see and then I'm away. The site obviously isn't massive, and it is basically a beautiful ruin, but there's a lot of people here today, and as I say, it's the first time I've been to a place where there's been so many people at the same time. Edinburgh actually wasn't as bad. I think it's probably a bit more organised in Edinburgh, but there we are. I think I'm going to leave it here. Terribly windy. I don't know how much I'm going to have to subtitle this, but we'll see. But if you have been watching, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below. I release a video every Sunday. Next week is an interesting week video as always. But comment, tell me what you think of Urquhart if you've been there yourself. And remember, it's open all year. So you don't have to come in the summer like I have when there's a big tourist crush. But I'll leave you some views of Loch Ness, which is looking rather overcast now as the rain's starting to kick in and the wind's picking up. But apart from that, thanks very much, and I'll see you later. There we go, there's Urquhart Castle, and I haven't been back. I haven't been back. It was really cramped. Two things I noticed. The bed music actually annoyed me. I can now understand why the views aren't as good as some other vlogs round about it. And secondly, I miss that shirt. I really do miss that red shirt I was wearing. But I didn't have the foresight to repair it. I just chucked it when it went ripped on the freaking arm, and I'm kind of regretting it now. So if you ever see a shirt something like that, leave me a comment, give me a link. Let's see if I can maybe find something very similar to the design, if not the same design, because it'd be really nice to have that shirt back in my collection of shirts I have. Anyway, hello, welcome to Streamstructor's Life. If you have just joined me in the premiere, hello, welcome. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing. A few hamster issues we've had already. Of course, we had the playback there going a little bit awry, but there we go, that's natural. It's a Streamstructor. It will stay in. I'm not changing it. But overall, yeah, Urquhart Castle, I do want to go back, and I might go back with friends maybe. I think that might be the better idea to get a better perspective, because it was a sardine tin trying to get up that Grand Tower. It was a sardine tin. It was really horrible, and it really made me a little bit grumpy between takes. So maybe not somewhere I would go back on my own in the busy summer season. It was just a window of opportunity to do it. I did say it was a banker vlog, saying that Fort George would be there beforehand, but Fort George still hasn't been completed and probably won't be for the next couple of years, because I don't want to really release it while there's a certain military base within it doing its work. So you may not see Fort George for a little while longer yet, and I do have it more or less complete, but I'm not going to release it as a vlog just yet. So you will get it eventually, and that means all 4 of the most popular sites in Historic Scotland's arsenal are done. Apart from, I think that's right anyway, although it might be on Lithgow now that's the fourth most popular site. But at the time, I thought Fort George was the fourth. I know definitely the three are Urquhart, Stirling and Edinburgh, so I know those are the three that are the most popular. The tourist figures came out and that they were the top three in Historic Scotland's retinue. So yes, absolutely. Urquhart Castle, there we go. There's vlog 42. Vlog 43 next time when it's live. Hello, yes, so let's have a go quickly over some Facebook birthdays. As you know, what I do is I tend to say happy birthday to friends on my Facebook and wish them best wishes. So let's see who we've got. I'm going to say happy birthday and happy Facebook birthday to this time round. Catherine, happy birthday on the 18th. Hopefully all goes well. Deirdre, yes, many happy returns. Hopefully it's a very, very joyful birthday for you. You've had a lot of heartache recently, and my love goes out to you, my lady. Then we've got Reverend Stewart, happy birthday, Reverend, on the 21st of July. My work colleague, sweet little Sam, 24th of July, happy birthday. Reenactment colleague Jess, also her birthday on the 24th of July, happy birthday to you. We also have then John, your birthday's on the 29th of July. That's one of my Doctor Who group friends. Happy birthday. We've got my reenactment mate, Ben. Happy birthday on the 4th of August. Happy birthday to my workmate, Claire, who also hits the big 40. Oh, sorry, shouldn't have said that. She's somebody, my team's older than me. But yeah, she hits 40 on the 4th of August. And then we have Andrew McVie, friend of the channel. His birthday is also on the 4th of August. A lot of 4th of August birthdays. And then we have a birthday for Chris, my long-time darts teammate. Chris, happy birthday on the 5th. We have Al, reenactment friend from long gone and dungeon master of my current D&D campaign. Happy birthday on the 13th of August. And I will finish it off with a happy birthday to fellow reenactor JP on the 15th of August. Happy birthday, everybody. Hopefully you have a wonderful time. Hopefully the weather's not too rubbish and you all enjoy your time on your days of the next rotation around the Earth since you were born. Basically, that's it. That's my shout-outs for the Facebook birthdays this time round. I've talked about July and what I've done so far. Let's talk about what I did since the 4th of June in June. So, the week after the reenactment, I had quite a busy weekend. So, on the 11th, I actually went down to Dumfries and went to a Homefront exhibition, Homefront reenactment event at the Dumfries Aviation Museum. And I'll have a little video about that, my little tour about that in a minute. I'll describe that more. On the Sunday, I was over at Dalton Castle for reenactments, and my God, that weekend was hot, and I was struggling to put stuff away on the Sunday. I really can't take the heat at the moment. It's really terrible. The following week, it was a fairly quiet week, and then I met up with Fraser, Jamie, Jim and Siobhan on the 25th, and we went to Kelvin Grove and then had a picnic in the park, and we had all the Bogosian thing and all that happening. So June was actually fairly quiet in consideration, but I did want to put my little clip for the time, and this will be the Streamstructor clip for this month. It's my trip to Dumfries Air Museum. Now, when you went down there, you were able to get in with reduced entry if you dressed up in 1940s costume. So my mum did. She got a dress that was very 1940s, and I got my waistcoat and tie, and I borrowed my dad's fedora hat, and I had 1940s trousers on, baggy trousers. They're not dry cleanable, so that's going to be fun trying to wash them, and braces. So that was quite fun. And I couldn't find a shirt of the period, so I just wore a normal white shirt, but it still did the job. It still did the job, and you'll see that in this video, the costume. But here is a quick tour, and I do mean to go back and do a proper vlog, but here's a quick tour of some of the sights and sounds of a very warm day. It was 28 degrees when I was in Dumfries, so it's the warmest day of the year I've been experienced anyway. We travelled down, had a cuppa in Moffat, then went to the museum, was there for about 5 hours. My sister was there helping organise with her partner David, who's part of the committee of the museum, and she was there she was in a 1930s dress, but my God, she when she scrubs up well. She really looked gorgeous in it. It was really a beautiful dress, brown, sleek, and it was 1930s style. Maybe that was a slightly early, but do you know what? She made the effort, It's really good that she did. At the end of the day, though, we do have a little montage here. It's about 2.5 minutes of my visit to the Dumfries Air Museum. Hello everybody, I am at the Dumfries and Galloway Aviation Museum, the Homefront exhibition. Lots of reenactors here from World War II and beyond, so worth to have a quick look round and see what's here, just to explore a little bit. So that's it from the Dumfries and Galloway Air Museum. I'll be back here in the future probably for a proper full-throated vlog. Almost couldn't get that right, tongue twisted, but back to the live stream. Or as we now call the live stream for this one. Yes, that was an interesting exhibition. It was good. There was a little is it East Lothian Homefront who were there, and they did a little talk about the kind of doing men's mentality of the Homefront when they first started, and that little cannon was basically like a little mortar bomb, and they'd stuffed a tin can with stuff that they could then fire out of this little mini cannon they'd created, and it was blanks, but it was quite impressive seeing that. It was a nice little exhibition, and it's worth going down there if you like your aviation history. It's actually quite cool. And there's one plane there called what is it, the Lochdoon Spitfire, and there was a Spitfire, one of the early versions of the Spitfire. I've heard it was something like 40 upgrades of the Spitfire over the war. They really developed it rather quickly, and this is a, what is it, second generation or something like that, and it was doing it became a training aircraft, and it did a training exercise over Lochdoon, and it hit, and the pilot went too low. They hit the water and they crashed into the water. It took 40 years to find the plane again, and they found the fuselage and the tail, and they never found the wings, but they found the fuselage and the tail, and they've slowly renovated it and restored it over the past 30 odd years. And there was a little talk with the guy there who was really good at talking about what he was doing and the history of it, and it was really quite interesting. So it's worth maybe going down to have the talk about that as much as anything else. But certainly worth going down. It has some memories from my mum and dad, from my mum especially, because both my grandparents on my mum's side were in the war. They were in the Air Force, volunteers in the Air Force. My grandfather did reconnaissance and navigation in Burma, Myanmar, and my grandmother was in the RAFs. She was in the Women's Royal Air Force. So the auxiliary, and she was at Chatsworth as well, of what I remember. So there's a lot of history there, and it was nice to see that. And I think Mum got a lot out of it. My dad got a lot out of it as well. Gus was struggling a little bit with the heat because he was there with Kerry and David. And he was struggling in the heat a little bit, so Mum and Dad kept him company under the tree while I explored and did a little bit of vlogging. So it was a fun day. It was a nice day. Lots of ice cream had, lots of water drank, but it was a hot day. It was a hot day, and yeah, we were all knackered by the end of it. We really were. However, it was a lovely day. I think it was a great time. And I certainly want to go down there again and explore it in slightly cooler conditions and maybe in slightly less warm conditions. So it might be a wee trip at the weekend, maybe in August or tail end September or something, beginning of September or somewhere like that, just a day trip to go and say hello, or maybe next year. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that's the Dumfries Air Museum. That's really a clip for the live stream as well for this month, or as live stream. Let's just see what else is coming up with the running order. We just have one more archive video to do, which is Turn Left, and it's the Deanstructor Reviews Doctor Who archive video of the David Tennant story. Here we go. Hello everybody and welcome to another Doctor Who review. This time I'm reviewing a 10th Doctor story. Let's find out which one it is. Okay, Turn Left, the 11th episode of Series 4 of Doctor Who from 2008, right in the middle of the Doctor Donna brilliance that you have here with David Tennant and Catherine Tate. This is the Doctor Light episode that they used to do for Doctor Who back in the day, and it's a very, very deep story, and it just shows a lot of how important the companions are to the Doctor, and the whole premise that with Donna not being there, you know, there is no Doctor saving the universe from Centaurans, or the Rachnos, or the Titanic crashing into Buckingham Palace and causing a nuclear holocaust, or even the adipose, and there was another thing as well and I can't remember. Oh yeah, Martha in the hospital, that's what it is. The hospital with the Jadoon, and everybody dies apart from one person. As you know, with these reviews, I don't tend to do a plot synopsis for the new series, and this one's no different. We'll go straight back into the plot and just have a look at a few things here. So, as you may know, obviously, Donna goes into a kind of fortune teller, Beetle climbs on her back, and this time Beetle kind of changes history by her turning right at a junction instead of turning left. Her turning right changes the whole thing she does. She doesn't work at H.W. Clements. She doesn't meet the Doctor in The Runaway Bride. She doesn't end up stopping the Doctor from killing himself when he drowned the Rachnos. All that lovely, brilliant stuff he doesn't do. And it therefore means that all the events that have happened since The Runaway Bride kind of don't work. But overall, this is quite a gripping story. It gets your interest. I like the timey-wimey ones to respect, because it's interesting, because you know what should have happened and what has happened and how scary it is. Now, it's quite a personal one from Russell T Davies, obviously writing this. He likes his personal drama sort of stories, and this is no different. This whole thing of Donna not being seen herself as special, lack of confidence, but actually is very special and ends up being the saviour of the universe, as we see later in the series. Spoilers. But this whole situation of Rose coming in to try and guide her along, to get her to help out, to change time back, is brilliant. Billy Piper does a good cameo role here, playing Rose to help work it along, and you can certainly see that obviously Rose has a lot more knowledge. She's using Doctor's technobabble a little bit, but she doesn't understand some of it and how it works, which is really interesting. So she has learned something. Donna is a brilliant character in this, and Catherine Tate plays Donna flawlessly in every episode that she shows up in Doctor Who, and is the lead here, really. David Tennant makes the fleet appearance at the beginning and the end, when they're going through all those stalls on that alien planet. But I think it's a really, really fun episode to go through. So, yes, you've got the beetle that climbs to the back that helps change history. All the events that Donna has afterwards, this other job that she ends up losing, all the destruction of the Hope Hospital and everything, and everything that follows afterwards, and how her life gets worse and worse. And there's a little undercurrent here with some of the main characters. You got Wilfred, played by Bernard Cribbins, who's always enthusiastic and is very fond of his granddaughter, Donna, and always tries to make her, better than she is. And then you've got the other side with Sylvia, who never really appreciated Donna, I don't think, or wants her to be better, and just loses faith by the end because she feels that nothing's working and everything's fallen apart. Especially when they go up to Leeds as refugees, and the whole situation with the Eastern Europeans that are taken away to labour camps at one point. That dark undertone that Wilf alludes to is really scary. Just the whole story is dark enough and fun, I suppose, to watch and to see all the differences in that. We'll go through the lead cast. I mean, you've got David Tennant's the Doctor, which you don't really see much, but he's the Doctor. What can you say to much of the character here? There's not really much there. There's a bit of the scary, the realization. Obviously, there might be that Rose is involved when Bad Wolf's mouthed at the end. He plays that brilliantly. But then you've got Catherine Tate plays Donna, carries it. Everybody slated Catherine Tate because they didn't think she could act, but this is the episode that shows that she can act, and act absolutely off her socks. I mean, Billie Piper's a great actress, but even she's struggling to keep up with Catherine Tate at times, as far as I'm concerned. She really just knocks it out of the park. The best support is Bernard Cribbins as Wilfred. I think Bernard does a brilliant job here as the pick-me-up, and the one who's always trying to see the bright side of life with Donna and show that there's more to it. He's always happy. You've then got Jacqueline King, who plays Sylvia Noble, of course. Sylvia has always been the one who cares for Donna and wants her to do better, but never thinks that she can. And it's very sad to see Sylvia lose faith near the end of the story, because she just feels nothing's going right, nothing's ever going to go right, and she's going to effectively suffer for it. Interesting appearances here. You've got Unit back, and this kind of thing they've got with Unit at this point where they effectively idolise the Doctor and will do anything to help the Doctor. I prefer the battlefield element where he's kind of been forgotten a little bit. This kind of idolisation that the Doctor has with Unit at this point is a little sickening at times, but obviously this is only the second time that Unit's been made appearance since the beginning of the series, because you've got the Sontaran stratagem and the Poison Sky early in the series where Unit make their return, and they're a little bit sycophantic towards the Doctor, which does annoy me a little bit. They do make an appearance again in the next episode with Stolen Earth and Journey's End. You've then got Chipper Chung, who makes an appearance for the second time in the 11th episode of a series. She was Chando in the previous series in Utopia, and this time she plays the fortune teller, the evil fortune teller, who kind of gets a bit scared of Donna at the end because she overpowers the beetle and all that. You've then got a couple of other cast members that help bring it along, but they're very small in that respect. No disrespect to the actors; they all do their job, but there's not really anything remarkable of them. That's really your main cast there. It's a very deep story, as I was saying there, in regards to the story, the setup of it. There's a few things I do like of it. Alice, who was one of the workers from Chowdhury's business at the Christmas party, she was the first one to notice the beetle on Donald's back, well, as far as we can see. Rose also notices it later, and it's a nice little reference that Trickster is involved there in regards to trying to change history and feed off time with this beetle, which I think is a really interesting idea. It's the nice points of how each of the companions that would take part in helping save the universe and Stolen Earth are killed. Obviously, you've got the Doctor initially with the Rachnos. You then have the death of Martha Jones in the hospital. You've then got Saxon doesn't really make an appearance, I've noticed. You've got the adipose and the Americans not being able to help support Britain again with the adipose situation when 16 million fat people disappear into little adipose creatures. I thought that was quite a wry bit of dark humour there. The death of Sarah Jane, which was in the hospital, actually. It was Sarah Jane died in the hospital when she's trying to save things. That's also where Martha dies as well. And then you got Torchwood saving the situation with the Sontarans, and the fact that Jack was taken away by the Sontarans as well is interesting. But they announced the death of Gwen and Yanto, who are the only two at that point. So it's interesting seeing those little points there within the story. Overall, it's you can watch it. The Graham Harper's direction really works with the fact they're using nighttime most of the time, and he's good at these emotional things with characters, and he certainly it's a bit of a slower one for him because he usually has a bit more action orientated stuff, but this one's more akin to the sort of direction he was doing for Revelation of the Daleks and Caves of Androzani to an extent. It's a bit slower. It is single camera set piece, but it's more akin to what he was doing in the classic series than what he was doing in the modern series for some of his other directions. It's an interesting take, an interesting direction there, and I like the lighting, and Murray Gold's music is not bombastic, that overtakes everything, which is always the thing I have criticism with Murray Gold in later seasons. He's not got there yet. He's certainly still complementing everything, and it certainly is a great direction. It's just the lighting, I think. It's just the darkness and everything else, and that comes around with Graham Harper's stuff, because there's a lot of things set in dark places with the lighting and candles, and late at night things are happening, as well as some of the daytime stuff when they're at the spa and everything. But most of it is based in night, and all the important bits are done at night, and the lighting is just it just gives this otherworldliness to it, and this kind of strangeness of being in the dark with most of the stuff that happens in the episode. The idea that Donna has to knock herself down to cause a traffic jam to make the Donna in the proper universe turn left instead of turn right is interesting. But it's just an amazing situation, and an amazing setup that you have here. And this whole situation of turning right initially seems good, but then just completely falls apart. It's amazing to think that your life choices could be changed by such a simple thing as just turning the other direction from where you were intending. And it just makes you think, is your life choices like that? Have you done something in the past that could have made things a lot different, or is it a lot better being where you are? And this underlying story that's there, obviously it's more of a sci-fi element to it, because obviously with Donna not being involved as much in things, it kind of kills things off a bit more with other people and other things. But overall it's an interesting premise, and certainly one that is an interesting watch, and it's one of the strongest episodes of Series 4. It's not the strongest. There's a couple more that are absolute doozies in here, which I will review in the future, but it's certainly one of the better ones for me, and for that I would give it 4 TARDISes out of 5. There we are, that was Turn Left. Deanstructor reviews Doctor Who, Turn Left. It's an interesting story, I quite like it. I still like it now. It's not the best one. The best one I've still to review. Could come up in the future, don't know when it's going to be, but that's a little spoiler for you. The best story of Season 4, as Series 4, is still to be reviewed by me. But when you see it, you'll understand why it's the best story of Season 4, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, that's it from me for this time. Let's have a look to see what's coming up for the videos coming up. So we've already had, of course, Mary Queen Scott's House and Cheryl the Scourge and Hyde, and we've had this live stream as live. We have the clip, which will be the Dumfries Air Museum on the 19th of July at 6 PM GMT. Then next Sunday, 23rd of July, we have 6 facts on Leonardo da Vinci, not Da Vinci, as I put the spelling mistake in the channel schedule images I posted on Facebook and on the YouTube community channel. And then we have the channel update on the 30th at 4 PM GMT, so hopefully you can join me all for that. In regards to August and what's happening, I have a vlog coming out, vlog 102, on the 6th of August. Not sure if it's going to be Dunstafnage or Alnwick Castle yet, I haven't decided. Probably going to be Dunstafnage, but we'll see what happens from there. And then the following week I have 2 Doctor Who reviews coming up. 13th of August, 4 PM GMT, we have Time in the Rani, Sylvester McCoy's opening story. the Seventh Doctor's first story. And then we have on the 16th of August at 6 p.m. GMT, the Holy Terror, which is the appearance of a comic book character. Frobisher, excuse me, windy me. But that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching as always. Leave a comment down below. Leave a comment on the side there if you're watching the premiere. Leave a comment down below. Ask me questions. I might be able to answer them next time round. That's probably a good idea. Leave some questions down below and I might answer them in the next live stream. Anyway, that's it from me. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, share it with the hashtag teamstructor. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you know when a new video comes out. And general, new video every Sunday at 4 p.m. GMT. Thank you guys for watching as always. Yes, I will see you in 2 weeks' time, visually. You'll hear from me next week with the 6 facts on Leonardo da Vinci. But until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. And you know what? I will see you later.